Hey guys, it's your girl, the Realest RT, and I am back. And so today I wanted to share with you all how I was able to um, beat the system and get off of welfare, food stamps, and off Section 8 housing, which is public assistance housing. Stay tuned. So hey you guys, as you know, everybody love to share their testimonies. I'm one of them, on how the Lord just truly changed my life. I always tell everybody I'm living a supernatural life. But what I find is a lot of people don't take the time out to share with others how they were able to uh obtain that blessing. Because there is some work involved. There are things that you have to do to help yourself. So, yes, you guys, I was able to beat the system. Okay. So, I'm going to share with you all a few of the things that I did to get off of welfare, food stamps, and Section 8, which is public housing assistance. Okay. Now, before we get into it, I just want to say to anybody that is currently on, public assistance of any type, I'm not knocking you, honey, because I've been there, done that, okay? But what this video is about is to help those that desire to get out of the system, beat the system. Because I'm gonna tell you one thing that I know from personal experience. When you're getting all of this type of assistance from government, it can either be a help or a hindrance to some people, and it all depends on the mindset of that person. Okay, my thing is, the way I did it is, okay, it's like you're using the system now while you're receiving all these free benefits. You're using the system. Well, I use the system to get out of the system. Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys a little bit more on my background, though. Okay, I grew up in the projects, single parent household. My mom had 4 kids. I was the third one. Like I said, single parent household. And so, of course, and she was on welfare, food stamps, public assistance, and stuff like that. And so, of course, it's a such thing called statistics. It's like they always doing their statistics, trying to calculate and evaluate, how I guess how your life is going to turn out based on, the life of your parents, and stuff like that. Well, I definitely wasn't part of the statistics. But like I said, I didn't grow up with my dad in my life or anything like that. My mom and my grandmother pretty much raised us. Okay. My mom did not drive. My mom still do not drive to this day. So, let me tell you, it was some trials and tribulations. I'm just gonna tell you that. But my mom, she was a good mother. She did the best that she could with what she had. And I have to say, I definitely don't regret my upbringing. In fact, I believe that it actually made me a stronger individual. Okay. And so let me tell you guys about the projects I grew up in, first of all. Okay, the projects I grew up in, they called it Underwood. Okay, they call it Underwood Homes, and this is in Georgia, y'all. So, but anyway, the projects that I used to live in, y'all, it was so bad. I mean, it was so bad. It wasn't nothing to walk outside and see crackheads on the side of the house. You could smell the crack that they were smoking on the side of the house. It wasn't nothing to every other night, you hear gunfire, people having shootouts and stuff, and we having to just hit the floor. It was just one of those type environments. And you know we would always have family members and stuff. They would always come down and visit us. And we had some good ones, and then you have your negative family members. We would have some family members, it's like they come down there and all they saw was these little dirty kids, these little dirty bad kids at that. But we were just kids, kids being kids. And at the time it's like we didn't realize, you living in poverty, you know what I'm saying? You're poor. It's like we never really realized it, because we always had food to eat, but like I say, you had some of your negative family members and stuff. They would come down there and just speak all kinds of evil on you, as a child. So yes, you guys, I just wanted to kind of give you a background, of where I came from, and I wanted to do that because I want the people watching this video to let them know that it is possible to make it out. You do not have to become a part of a statistic. You do not have to live the same type of life that your parent lived. So that's one of the reasons why I made the video, to share with people how maybe my testimony of how I was able to overcome and get out could help somebody else. So, okay, guys. So, one of the things about receiving public assistance is there is so many different types of free benefits. I mean, you name it, from free child care, you know, they have all kinds of free programs to help you get your high school diploma or GED if you haven't graduated high school. And so at the time, you guys, I mean, I did graduate high school, right? And so at the time they offered even to pay, they would pay for you to pretty much get a certification. And that's just something I was able to do really quick. It might have took maybe about 6 weeks. And so the choices was you could do you can go to this training school and get like a CNA certificate or a phlebotomy certificate. Okay, so at the time, they would pay for you to go and obtain either a CNA certification or either a phlebotomy certification, right? And um they would just pay the cost for that certification, right? And so what I chose to do phlebotomy. Okay, because I was thinking to myself, I mean, I'm not knocking anybody that wipe butt, but I was just like, I don't feel like wiping nobody behind, so I guess it's gonna be phlebotomy. But my whole point is I utilize those free resources to get get a trade. So I went to the school for about, it was like 6 weeks. It was really quick to get a phlebotomy certification. And so once I got that, I was able to obtain employment for myself. And I was making like $12 an hour. That might not sound like a lot to some people, but it was a lot to me. Okay. At that time, it was a lot to me to make 12.50 an hour. Okay. So that was one of the ways that I was able to, start earning an income. So it's like I was able to eliminate, some of the free assistance that I was getting, like bit by bit, and start making my own income. So then I stopped getting the welfare portion of the assistance, right? And that's like the monetary part, not the food stamps. So I was still getting some food stamps, right? I was still getting some food stamps, and I was still on housing, working this $12.50 an hour job, right? So I was able to eliminate that first. And as time went on, I continued to work, and slowly but surely, I started to wean myself off. Anybody that's been, on public assistance, they know, like, if you're working, they're going to start the more money you make, the less they're going to give you. Like they start making their deductions in the food stamps. Okay. So let's say I was getting, in the beginning, I probably was getting like, I don't know, close to $500 in food stamps, right? But now that I'm working, so now I'm getting maybe like $300 in food stamps. Okay. So they're making the deductions as you start working. And I'm going to tell you something before I continue. See, some people, they would, it's like they refused to work because they didn't want their assistance, their free assistance to be cut off, so it's just like, well, I don't want a job because I want to continue to get this free check and this free food stamps. But anyway, like I said, this is for the ones who had a mindset and want to get it out of the system. Okay. So anyhow, so after that happened, after I had obtained a job, I continued to work. And as far as the housing part, y'all, I'm gonna tell you, well, no, before I get into the housing part, I'm going to tell you, okay, so and everybody know that if you've ever received food stamps or welfare, you know there's like a recertification process you have to go through. I think it's every 6 months. Like you have to go to this appointment and they reevaluate you to see if you're still eligible to receive, public assistance, right? And y'all, I used to dread, when I tell you, I used to dread going down there to the welfare office. Why? When I tell you, they had some of the when I tell you nasty and low down people working down there, nasty and low down. But I thank them though. I thank them because if they wasn't so nasty and low down, I probably would have still been on it. But y'all, when I remember one day I went down there and this one caseworker that I had, she made me feel like I was just like crap on the bottom of somebody's shoe because I was receiving assistance. It was the tone she used. It was her body language. It was everything. It's like that was her intent, was to make me, that was her intent, was to make me feel inferior, because I was receiving assistance. I mean, y'all was so mad, but I mean, it was nothing that I could do. It's like I had to, because I needed the food stamps. I still needed the assistance at the time. And it's just like, I was so, y'all was just so angry, y'all. I mean, I just cried. I just cried because it was nothing I could do at the time, and I know I needed the assistance, so I couldn't just get up and walk out like, oh, she talking to me foul, or she done got me upset, so I'm just gonna walk out. No, I couldn't do that because I needed the assistance, and me and my kids was depending on it. Okay, so y'all, let me tell you, that was my motivating factor. And y'all, I prayed. When I tell you I prayed so hard, I prayed so hard because it's like it's like it did something to me internally. Like it just broke me. You know what I'm saying? And I just prayed so hard, y'all, to, I just asked the Lord to help me to be able to support me and my kids on my own. I mean, I wanted out of the system so bad. I mean, so bad. And you really have to want it. You really have to want to get out of that system. I mean, and when you think about it, these people, think about this. Somebody having the control over where you live, how you feed your children. It's very, we'll just say it's very invasive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of those people, I don't like people in my business. I don't care what I'm doing. I like my privacy, and with them, it's like everything is out in the open. And you have to tell them, they have to know, or you're not going to get any assistance. So long story short, y'all, I sat down there and got my food stamps. Okay. because I needed them. All right. But what I did do, I was motivated, after that encounter with that particular caseworker, honey, I was so motivated. I was so motivated to get get myself out of the system. I just did not want to go back down there ever again. I did not want to have to sit in that lady's presence ever again in life. Okay, that's how bad and she made me feel about myself. For receiving public assistance. So what I did next, I had a full-time job already, right? So I had start looking for a part-time job. So then I found a part-time job working in a health department, doing phlebotomy. And that was on the weekend, so that was cool, I was still able to have a little bit of time to myself. It didn't take up my whole weekend or nothing like that. And so once I was able to secure that job, my part-time job, oh, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. But before that happened, I want to get back to the housing part. Before that happened, before I got the job, the part-time job, I started having issues in the apartment I was living in. This added fuel to the fire, y'all, for me to get this part-time job. Okay, so this just added more motivation. So the apartment I was living in, it was a nice apartment. But the thing about it was it had issues with plumbing. It had issues with the plumbing, and they had a really bad leak around the bathtub, right? And so one day I just noticed, I was just walking downstairs and I just happened to glance up at the ceiling and I said, "Oh my goodness," like it was this huge wet stain on the ceiling, and I could see like the indentation of the bathtub, of where the bathtub was. And I was like, "Oh my goodness, this thing is going to cave in at any minute." I mean, y'all, this was not like a small indentation. I mean, you can clearly see that something's trying to come through this roof. And I'm like, it's just a matter of time before this bathtub probably just cave in. And I'm thinking about the safety of me and my kids. I'm like, "Oh my goodness," right? And so I said, "Well, let me report this, and or see what they're gonna do about this," right? And so when I went to report it, they was just so casual and nonchalant about it, like, "Oh, like it's just a small leak when this bathtub is about to cave in through the ceiling on me and my kids." And you know, I just saw how nonchalant they were about it. Like they really didn't give a damn. Like, "Oh well, you're on house anyway. Just be thankful you have a place to lay your head." You know, they was just so nonchalant about it. And that was the final straw. That was the final straw, y'all. That next month, I had saved up some money. That next month, I just moved out cold turkey. I just winged it. I said, "Well, Lord, I can't keep me and my kids here. I couldn't. I mean, me and my kids couldn't stay there. You know, they clearly wasn't trying to fix it in a timely manner at all. They didn't. They did not care, y'all. When I say they didn't care, they did not care. Okay, so I just winged it. I found me another apartment, and I paid for it myself with my own money. Um, and it was a pretty decent apartment. It was in a safe environment. That's all I cared. And me and my kids was safe. And a bathtub wasn't about to fall out the ceiling on our head. Okay. So that is what really fueled it. That's what fueled it. And then that's when I end up getting that part-time job. I end up getting a part-time job. And yeah. And so that's pretty much how I did it. Sometimes, too, you guys, you have to step out on faith and always pray in everything that you do, because it's not like God don't see what's going on with you. He sees everything, he knows everything. But it's still, you know, it's a part that we have to do, you know, and that's to pray and ask God to intervene and help us, because that's what prayer is all about. It's really giving God permission to intervene on our behalf. But that's how I was able to just completely get out of the system. But you guys, I'm gonna tell you this. Once I moved there and I had gotten off the housing, so you gotta think, okay, I'm off housing and I'm off housing and I was off the welfare portion, the money portion of it, right? So the only thing that I was receiving now was just the food stamps, okay? So I'm really getting, I'm getting my act together now, right? Okay? So I'm excited about that. I was very excited about it. Okay, guys. So the next step I took, I decided to enroll in school. Okay. And this was also free. I used the Pell Grant. Okay. So I enrolled in school. I decided, I thought to myself, I'm already a phlebotomist. I would like to do a career, pick a career path where I could still be able to utilize my phlebotomy skills because I actually enjoyed drawing blood. I actually enjoyed doing it. But anyway, so the career field that I chose was respiratory therapy. Okay. And so I end up utilizing free assistance, government assistance of the Pell Grant. All right. And I went to school to become a respiratory therapist. All right. So I'm not going to sit up here and say it was easy. No, it was not. I would never tell anybody, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. It's not easy. But like I said, you have to want it. And I'm going to tell you one thing, you guys. Do not get discouraged at the beginning. I don't care what career path you choose or whatever it is you decide to do. Do not get discouraged in the beginning, because in the beginning, oh my goodness, let me tell you guys, when I first looked at the requirements, for respiratory therapy, I had no clue. And when I tell y'all I had no clue, I just knew I wanted to be able to obtain a good career to be able to support my kids. All right. And I was just like, I just dived into it. I just prayed. I prayed my way through it. I really did, because I would never sit up here and tell nobody, oh, you know what? I did it. I'm so smart. I'm just a genius. No, no, sir, and no, ma'am. I would never do that. I knew it was God, because I still don't know to this day how I got past some of the classes I got past, because y'all, when I tell y'all, I didn't know this stuff like that. I really did not. It's like until it was over, it's like that's when it started to click. But it's like I knew it had to be God helping me, because I did not know this stuff. And that's one of the things to you guys. God, he's going to always get the glory, okay? He's going to always get the glory. And you'll have people, especially family members, y'all. Y'all know, hey, I'm going to tell y'all the truth and keep it real. But you have people, they look at you like you a unicorn, like, how did you do it? You come from the same place they come from. Did some of the same things they were doing, but yet somehow you made it out. You made it out, and they're still in that same environment. But it's something you have to want it. You have to want it, and you have to pray. I'm telling you, it's no way. Honest to goodness, y'all, it's no way I would have made it without God. It's no way. I didn't know that stuff. I really did. But the Lord, I mean, I just prayed my way through it. And he just made a way. You know, he made a way for me and my children, and I will be forever grateful. That's why I'm here. This is a testimony also for me, you all. So that's why I'm here. I wanted to, the Lord laid it on my heart to share my story with you all. Okay. And I'm praying that this helps someone. You know, that my testimony helps someone, encourages someone else that, feel like it's no way out. It is. Okay. There is a way out, but you have to want it. You have to want it more than anything. And you're going to have to pray. You're going to have to make some sacrifices, and you're going to have to pray. Okay? So I hope this helped you guys today. Bye.